Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is RAMCCALL. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my journey from $0 all the way up to $1 million in monthly revenue for my business. Now, for those of you that just heard that statement, this is pretty insane, totally crazy, and I get that. But, there's some different ways that I've been thinking of trying to generate passive income and to do so effectively and basically just scale that up to as much as I can. And a good way of doing that I found, and I'll show you guys some points of inspiration in just a second, but a good way that I found to do that is through really two different drivers. The first of which is through blog websites, second of which is through real estate. Now, real estate, everybody knows about it. They're not making more of it. You buy a house and you rent it out for more than your mortgage or your overall rent, and then you generate passive income on that. A lot of operating expenses and things to consider going that route, but for purposes of today's discussion, I'm going to be focusing in on the first method, which is a blog website, and basically just having a little website on the web answering people's questions, purely informational topics that it's going to be writing about, generating passive income via ad revenue. I really wanted to show you guys some points of inspiration, and I actually recommend that you guys go and check these guys out on YouTube and even subscribe to their courses if they have any. I know Passive Income Geek. His name's Morton. I know he has one. I'm in his course. It's pretty good. You know, he a lot of the things I'm about to go into, he covers in great detail. So if you're interested in, learning about, how to actually create these blog websites, then definitely go check out his channel. Another good YouTube channel I like following is Below Average Blogger. This is just his logo I was able to find on Google Images. And he's a real humble and modest guy. And, just like me, just starting out, and just really wanted to document the entire process, starting from, basically ground zero and documenting all that and showing you, all the successes and failures that he's had and, lessons learned basically that you can take from that and apply to your own website, which is exactly what I've done. His name is Mike, and he's a real cool guy. The other two guys that I follow, one of which is called Passive Income Unlocked. There's actually two guys that run this channel, and they make like something around $40,000 a month in passive revenue, and I think they have like five or six different sites, but they basically produce these income reports and case studies, just like what I'm about to show you guys in this presentation. And it's very inspiring, and they obviously provide some pretty good guidance as well, just like Morton and Below Average Blogger. So definitely check them out as well. Um, Last one, Growth Scatter. This guy is insane. He actually posted his first video a few months ago, where he basically front loaded about 800 to 1,000 articles within the first couple of months, and then 8 months later, he's already making like $20,000 a month in passive ad revenue through Ezoic and now Mediavine from his latest video. Now, that's pretty insane. Front loading a lot of your content, putting up something like 1,000 articles onto a website is pretty crazy, but the results speak for themselves when you know what you're doing. And really once you're able to sort of establish the proof of concept, having your first couple blogs, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then identifying what does work, and then basically just scaling that up to the point to where, in the case of Growth Scatter, he's making like 20,000 plus dollars a month just off of one website. Um, Now, as far as my current website that I wanted to share with you guys, I was in a coffee shop talking to some friends, and I really like talking about this particular topic, and I started the website around mid-June, I think June 22nd to be exact. But for purposes of this, presentation, I just have the parameters set in Google Analytics from June 1st all the way up until yesterday, actually, November 17th. So right here you can see the average page view per day, and this is all users. So this isn't organic search directly from Google. This is all users, direct referrals, organic, everything. Now, around July, I think I had maybe like two or three articles on it. So the numbers that you see there, almost 100, users per day in some instances aren't really accurate. A lot of those are just me, honestly. But I'm going to start documenting from when I actually started front loading about 100 articles per month starting in October. But I'm also going to be showing you what the article count was and the page view count was um, back in the September. But as you can see, the growth seems to be going pretty well. And on the weekends, it seems to decline quite a bit, but then on the weekdays, it starts to increase quite a bit. So this is just something to consider as well when you start to pick your website niches, if you will. You can go to Google Trends or just kind of have general intuition as to when users are going to be searching those specific queries pertaining to your particular niche or topic. And then that can then correlate directly into the page views, which gives you an indication of when you can start to see, dips and valleys or average trends overall for your website. Now, I filtered the Google Search Console for 12 months just to give a holistic view, but it looks like it's only going back until, mid-August, which is fine because I didn't really start pumping out content until around, really, I would say October, beginning of October. But, so considering that, around 2 to 3 months, I'm already getting almost 50,000 impressions in total with almost 1,000 clicks so far. And the average click-through rate is pretty low. I'm gonna have to try and figure out how to get that up. So if anybody can assist me in that, I greatly appreciate it. Average position is around 18.7, which is average. I would say probably anything below 20 in average position is pretty good. And honestly, a lot of these articles that I just published, around 110 or so, are still being ranked. So that's why I'm not too concerned about the average position being somewhat high, because a lot of these articles, I mean, heck, probably most of them are still ranking, and a lot of them are already in the top 18, you know, average position. So I'd say I'm doing pretty well. Now, as far as tools used, there's really two main ones that I like to use. The first one is Keyword Chef, fantastic tool. Basically, and I'll go into this in just a second, but it basically scrapes whatever type of search query you have and sort of depicts whatever search query you typed in. It generates all the related search queries and then it represents it in the form of underserved topics, which I'll talk about in just a second. But underserved topics are basically whenever you search in something into Google, which is another tool that I use, obviously, to find topics to write about, is basically when you type in a search query like yoga mats and you type that in, hit enter into either Keyword Chef or Google, and specifically in Google, if you start to see topics or titles that really aren't related to yoga mats, let's say they're like stretching mats or something, or workout benches, something completely unrelated, then that is indicative of an underserved topic. Another good example of an underserved topic I would say is, let's say you were typing yoga mats again, and then you start seeing a bunch of forum posts at the very top, or 1 to 3 forum posts in the front page. That's a good indicator that you should probably write that article. Now, I know a lot of people will say that you only want to write articles that are underserved, but you also want to have high search volume. Well, that's true, but it's very difficult to estimate that. So, my rule of thumb is to write an article around the topic or search phrase that you happen to type in if it happens to be underserved. Don't worry about the search volume just yet because you can also get into authority or topical relevance. And really, you basically want to just hit every single node around that particular search phrase or topic to tell Google that, hey, I'm an authority of this topic, please rank me. And that's exactly what will happen. Now, kind of going back to what I was just briefly mentioning, let's say you type in yoga mat into Google. There's different ways to sort of generate, obviously topics to write about and/or subheadings that you can start to include in your articles. Now, people also ask, and Google Autocomplete are some great examples of this, and Keyword Chef actually has a little option where you can literally just hit a click button, copy all the people also ask, and then you could probably just put that into your own article, which is what I've done. Seen really great success with that. Uh, Depending on the topic and the competition, a lot of my articles have ranked within a day or two. I'm not even joking. All I did was just copy and paste the people also ask directly into my article, and then I outsourced the content and wrote about a 700 to 900 word article about that topic. And regarding Google autocomplete, it's another method. You can type in the seed search phrase called, like yoga mats or something, and then Google will literally just start spitting out topics that it would anticipate either you type or other people type, and that's indicative of search volume. So what you can do is to kind of use this and play around with it and start typing in yoga mats, and then right there you see yoga mats Target. So there's probably people looking to buy yoga mats at Target. Walmart, Amazon, one of the best yoga mats, Lululemon yoga mats, the list goes on. So you can use this as a tool to find topics, find titles, subheadings, things like that. I like to use this to find subheadings. People also ask in Google autocomplete are the two main methods that I personally use to find those subheadings. And again, you can't really get a good idea of the search volume, in my opinion, outside of using methods like this. And then once you kind of get the feel for how things and how certain articles will rank, then you can effectively just start scaling that up. So regarding the website stats, I'm going to be documenting starting from September this year, 2020, and right now it's obviously November. And then I'm going to be documenting the total article count, page views, as well as the potential revenue that I'm going to be putting onto the website, hopefully soon, once I can get into either Mediavine or AdThrive. I'm not going to go with the Zoic. This website is integrated with Zoic via Cloudflare, but for whatever reason, I've had a lot of difficulty, and the support, in my opinion, is not that good. I tried filling out a support ticket, and they referred me to some kind of forum where it's very difficult to get traction on any kind of request or question that I have. So I'm not really in any kind of hurry outside of just publishing around 100 or so articles a month. Um, so I'm just going to be waiting to slap those Mediavine ads or AdThrive ads on the website. But as you can see, in September, I had about 41 articles that I wrote myself over various topics. Only had around 221 page views, and then I decided to focus and hone in on one subtopic within this niche and just write every single article I could find on Keyword Chef, Google Autocomplete. People also ask, of course, keeping it in the bounds of the topical relevance, but basically trying to hit every single node within that subtopic or niche within the overall niche and just write every type of article that I could find that was underserved. And right now, as it stands, I'm at about 2,200 page views for the month of November. And you think about it, it's November 18th, so we still got at least 2 to 3 weeks to go. So hopefully, I'm going to be anticipating that November's page view count is around 3 to 4,000 page views, with around 206 articles plus around 5 or so that I have in the pipeline. And as you can see, the page view count is starting to increase pretty substantially. And if it continues in this trajectory, then I would hope to have a substantial amount of page views by the end of the year and certainly by the end of next year. So, yep, that's currently my progress. And I have zero revenue right now, but hopefully it won't be too long until I can start generating revenue off this website. But yep, that's about it. So just wanted to provide you guys with a quick update and catch you guys later.